Hey, everybody. Rob Gauthier, the ET Whisperer here for our Galactic Channeling. I'm going to check this audio real quick before we get started. Make sure the sound is going. There's always a delay, so it'll take a second. We're a couple seconds. All right. It should be started by now. Maybe it's just, there we go. We're a couple seconds. All right. Perfect, guys. So tonight is the night for our weekly Galactic Channeling. Last week, unfortunately, we were not able to do it, but this week we were. This week has been crazy, and I'm going to tell you guys just a little bit about that. Hello, Stephen. How are you, brother? Samantha, hello. And all of you who I said hi to on the text and chat. Hello, guys. Wonderful for you guys to make it tonight. This week has been insane, literally an insane week. Last night we did our last part of the last month's Patreon, the one for May, and we were barely able to do that. I had been up since 4 a.m. Took my son to the hospital. Secrets Wellbeing, hello. Hello, Mashari. And hello, William. How you doing? So yesterday I had to take my son to the hospital for a procedure where he had his feeding tube removed, which is a tube that they put in the end of 2017, making an incision in the stomach skin and in the stomach itself, which has a tube going out through the skin. And his old version was a very long tube in case, got holes in it, things like that. You could always trim it down. And we put liquid nutrition in. My son has an issue swallowing after he was hospitalized for 2 months with seizures, and he had ammonia poisoning. So after that, he wasn't able to eat anymore. So we had to get the feeding tube. But the feeding tube has gotten holes in it. It started leaking. It was kind of gross. The buildup in there was a little rough. So it was time to get it changed. And we went there. A bunch of craziness, waiting. It took 2-3 hours before the doctor was able to come in. I told him, I've seen the tubes that aren't the long ones that are flush up against the skin, and you put a little extender tube, clip it in there, and put in all of the liquid through there, and that way you don't have to continuously put him down every time he needs his tube change. All you have to do is there's a little balloon that filled with water that holds it in his skin, and all they have to do is suck the water out of the balloon, pull it out, put a new one in, and boom, it's changed. So I figured it would be way better for the future maintenance, and the doctor highly suggested it. So he got it changed, but because of his old tube being a big rubber backing on the back so that he couldn't pull it out, or hurt himself by pulling it out, they did change it, they set it up, but they still had to put him under. Luckily, it wasn't very deep anesthesia. It was very light sedative, no breathing tube where they have to put the breathing tube all the way down, all that stuff. So that was that yesterday. And by the time I'd gotten home, it was already probably about 2-3 in the afternoon. We had been there since very, very early, and it was insane. And all week before, Kalina and I have been trying to get ready. Kalina has not been feeling well in the last couple weeks of this pregnancy. It's just been a pretty rough situation for her. Energy is shot. She's very sore. Sometimes she gets lightheaded. All the things that any of you who've been pregnant before or know someone who has understand and know the whole situation about pregnancy and all the weird stuff. Like, I didn't know that you can get carpal tunnel temporarily while you're pregnant. I mean, that's just weird, right? But it happens. And then once you have the baby, it goes away. You can get diabetes when you're pregnant. You can get hypertension. I mean, you can literally get all these weird temporary things, which is crazy. But this is why Kalina's not in here with me tonight. She says hello and she sends her love. She won't be participating in the chat room. We had to get her all settled in, and that's why it took a little extra longer here. I had to make sure she was okay and resting before we got started. And It's very, very crazy, but it's wonderful. And we're here tonight. Today was my first kind of day off in the last week since we've got my son. We got him last Saturday. And today was nice to be able to relax a little bit. And even though Kalina's not feeling well, and I'm still doing whatever I can to help her with anything that she's going through, compared to the week before, it was a breeze. So today I'm rested. I'm feeling better, especially than I was last night on Patreon when I did the Patreon thing. But anyway, I'm here, guys. So we're going to rock and roll Galactic weekly channeling. Even though we skipped last week, we've got this week. And we're going to try to make up the lost week. But if we can't, we can't. Thank you, Shari. I appreciate it. And all of you guys who are sending love to Kalina. I'm sure when she watches this back, she'll be able to read all your beautiful comments too. And I'm sure ahead of time she'll say thank you for all of those comments, guys. I told myself, like I told everybody last night, we were either going to do 2 Galactic weekly channelings in a row tonight, or we weren't. And I wasn't going to say for sure we will, for sure we won't. Just because I've done that before, and then I put myself under time management stress. I put myself on, I gave him my word, I've got to get this done. Or I try to push myself when I have no push left in me. All those things are really bad, especially when you're going through all the high energy work and all that stuff too. So, and thank you, Curious Light. Hello to you, and thank you, William, for suggesting everybody hit the like button. Yeah, it's a very beautiful experience to have a child that's going to be coming in this world. I was lucky enough to have that 20 years ago with my son. Even though myself and his mother never really got along in the way that Kalina and I do, not even at all close. During the time of having a child being ready to come in this world is very easy to be excited and to try to do, but sometimes that excitement turns into stress, and that's what we're going to try not to let it do. Part of that is doing this. When I channel, I'm doing my meditation. When I'm sharing with you guys and getting to see what you're thinking and what everybody else is thinking, that helps me in my own experience. Because like Kalina had said something, I believe last night or a couple weeks ago, something that the things that we teach are the things we need to learn the most ourselves. And that's been a really big thing. You know, every channeling that someone has with Aridif or Treb on a personal note or in the Patreon with questions, there's always something that applies to me too. So I'm hoping tonight will not be different. And even if I don't get anything from the direct channeling, I always get my time with Treb, and that's always like therapy itself. You know, you can't pay for that type of therapy. So anyway, guys, that's what's going on. That's what's happening. We are going to try also to get the open forum done in the next week or so. Kalina and I will probably be taking a break in July once baby comes. Our baby's set to due in July 15th, but as you guys know, babies don't come when you tell them to. They come when they feel like it, and so far, it's right around the corner. I mean, literally, it's the first day of June, and July 15th is 6 weeks and a day away from today. So during July, probably the first week I might work, depending on how Kalina's feeling, maybe not. But if not, the rest, at least a couple weeks, will be taken off, including these Galactic channelings, including Patreon, including all the other stuff. And we're going to try to get Patreon done early in June and July, just to make sure, or late in July if she comes early in July. So either way, we will be back on eventually. And I want you guys to know that, because as you've seen my channel, I come in sometimes and I'm able to do a lot of stuff real quick. And then sometimes you only get a couple of videos per month or a couple videos per few months. And the last 2 years, I have not been putting out as many videos as I wanted to. And that's another reason so much that we're here today too, doing this. So the follow-up questions will not be there by Kalina tonight. I had thought about bringing a guest moderator on to ask a few questions, but in all reality, I think we'll just go back to the original format with Aridif introducing and whoever they are sending whatever message and telling us whatever they can about themselves. I've already asked Aridif to make sure that the entity knows that we want to know who they are, where they're from, what they do, how life is on their place, and then give whatever message or, whatever sequential order they want to do it. And that way, we'll get as much information as possible, even without the follow-up questions. I know you guys love Kalina's follow-up questions. They're always right on the money about what people want to hear. She's very in tune with my channeling and all the entities that I do channel, because she's been saturated in that now for almost 6 years. So she knows her way around that. And even before then, she was watching all of my channeling for a couple of years. When I got to know her as a good friend. So either way, guys, it'll be amazing, even without Kalina tonight. Thank you guys all for holding love, for holding light, and holding well-being for Kalina and for me. And we're going to rock and roll and do this. I'm trying to think of anything else. Well, last night, Daniel James, a dear friend of ours who's a movie person, who's a hello Zion Zeta, hello, long time no see, hello. Daniel James, like a good friend of mine who I've known him since 2015, and he has been an amazing guy. He came on last night with our Patreon, told everybody a little bit about him, and said he will be helping us in the future too, with whatever we need, especially during the transition for Lily being born and her being young and us getting used to the schedule. And on top of having the baby, we will be moving in the next few months. We've already got a place. It's all set up. They've already approved us. And it's a big 4-bedroom apartment. So we are going to move from this tiny 2-bedroom to a very, very big. We're getting almost double the space in this new place. With the baby and with us, we will actually have one dedicated room just for our office to do this stuff with, to do personal sessions, to do these channelings. So it's going to be great, guys. It'll be really nice. I'm going to take a drink of water, guys. As you guys know, I always have to do the neutralizing, which is 5 to 7 minutes. And I still haven't figured out how to broadcast anything so that you guys aren't bored during that time. But everyone who's here in the chat room, if someone new comes in, please feel free to let them know, hey, is it over? Nope, Rob's just doing the neutralizing. And that would be great, guys. I appreciate that. And thank all of you guys. You guys are the best too, and I appreciate that. We're definitely excited about all the new things that are coming. And as a part of us being new parents and also spending a lot of money to be new parents, we are going to be sharing our registration and our donation campaign. We're going to do a GoFundMe too, for the time that I have to take off work, so we don't get far behind on our financial situation. We'll share all that with people who want to help us. If you're here and you don't want to help us or you can't afford to help us, don't worry about it. We understand completely. We know that there are enough people out there who do and want to, that it will help us out a lot too. So we thank you guys from the smallest comment with one heart, shows us how much you love us, all the way to making comments, catching every live stream, doing Patreon, all the extra stuff that you can do. We really appreciate each and every one of you in the smallest amount of energy exchange to the largest. We love you guys so much. I'm going to take a drink, guys, and I'm going to get ready to start neutralizing so we can rock and roll, get Aridif in here, and see who he's going to bring in for us today. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you to it. Whoever's here who can comment to those people who just started coming in, that would be great. And then we'll rock and roll from there, guys. All right, I'll see you in 5 to 7, more realistically 6 to 8 minutes. And I'll see you then, and we're going to rock and roll. Love you guys. Thanks again for coming tonight. Thanks for sharing your thoughts and energy on the chat, too. Love you guys. All right, everybody, I'm going to double check, make sure the audio is working here. Just 1 second here. Got to go live. Excuse me, unmute. All right, everything sounds good, guys. Perfectly. So, I got out of my neutralizing and saw you guys on the chat, and it's wonderful idea about holding baby with Treb and Aridif. And the one thing a lot of people didn't or might not know is that Treb and Aridif really are a part of our daily lives, even when I'm not channeling them. They're very conscious through myself, even Kalina. Kalina hears Aridif a lot. She talks to him all the time. They listen in whenever they are here and around. I would say they're probably listening in all the time, but I don't know if they have to. I know each time they connect with us, they can get a nice snapshot of everything that's been said, done, and experienced with us. And when Aridif and Treb connect with me, they connect with me very differently than they do most people. And they connect with me directly inside the body. And when they do that, they have a lot more access than they do when they're talking to someone across the world through me. But, you know, they do connect with other people, especially Treb. Treb connects with a lot of entities, but they will definitely be a part of our experience with Lily, which will be really great. So it'll be wonderful. Hello, Danielle. Hello, hello. Oh, we got people from all over. Last time we did a roll call through everybody. We've got Australia. We've got Canada here. We've got all across the U.S. We've got a little bit of everybody here. So thank you guys for showing up. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to knock myself right back out of the neutralization I just did. So I'm going to stop, take a couple of breaths to get a drink of water, and then we're going to jump in. Big love to all of you guys. We really do love you. And Kalina, during the time, said she glanced in to check out everything and saw your guys' comments. Was really moved by how much you guys sent love to her and the baby. So thank you guys, everybody. And she'll hopefully be with us next time we do it. You know, we're thinking about trying to sneak in another either Galactic Channeling or just popping in to say hi and doing a quick channeling with Aridif or Treb in the next week or two. But we'll see. And if we do, hopefully she'll be with us there too, guys. All right, 1 second. All right, let me recenter you. All right, everybody. Love you guys. See you on the other side. Sorry. I forgot to. There we go. That way, if another tab pops up, it won't start blasting music. There we go. Greetings to all, this is Aridif, that is R-I-D-I-F, and this is it spelled. We understand that all of you desire to meet yet another entity residing within galactic co-created and collective consciousness. But before diving in to this construct, there are two things in which we wish to express. The first, above and beyond all things expressed within this day to know, feel, and to perceive that you are loved is of the utmost importance in our perspective. And secondly, it is our greatest excitement and within our greatest excitement to co-create each and every one of you, singularly and collectively, in your now moment of your linear perceived time. Now, this day we are going to dive deeply into the construct and energy of the Lyran beings. Now we understand. Now many of you who have heard of both Lyran and Lyran beings. Most of you believe them to be one and the same. Lyran represents the constellation of Lyra, and in the Lyran co-created energy, there are multiple thousands of races within the star cluster that you perceive from your evening sky. Therefore, those entities are Lyran. But Lyran is another race altogether. These entities no longer exist in the physical reality and in the sense of time in a linear fashion. There have been more years than what humans are able to perceive and count. Your scientists believe that they understand the nature of the physical universe by quoting approximately 14.8 billion years in age. But we assure you, not only the age of the universe itself, but the size of the universe is quite different. In the perspective of your scientists, more scientists understand about mechanics of the physical universe and then the mechanics of consciousness in how it co-creates with the universal construct, then much more will be seen. But in this moment, we will connect you with Lyran co-created collective consciousness. One moment. Greetings, dear ones. It is important to know that first, we are the Lyran collective. In the moments we speak with you, there will be different intervals of our energy and different accountings of consciousness within our collective. At times, there will be small handfuls of our race speaking from individual energies of fractaled selves. At other times, there will be hundreds of thousands or millions of us who speak at one point. We understand that most of you who know the name of the Nihal Collective Consciousness understand a bit in how we will operate our sharing in this day. The first part of all questions related to the blueprint and plan of the way we are supposed to share and meant to share this energy is to describe who we are, where we are from, and what our lives are like. We have no lives in this moment. We are only a remembering energy that was set forth from a race that our consciousnesses were more than trillions and trillions of years ago in your time. The time span was very long, so long in fact that we were some of the first 5% of physical beings that made into a place of 4th, 5th, and 6th density in the evolutionary scaling. We know that many of the humans who project their questions want to understand the regularities of life in that time. This is less important for the things that we have to share, but in our sharing we'll account some information, such as the information you desire. We also do not feel that sharing a great deal about our own appearances will be gratefully helpful. The physical structure and blueprint of structure are long gone from this universe. Although bipedal beings are the massive and main interjection of physical beings from conscious states, it still was one of the blueprint regularities. So to your appearance, we would range humanoid if you define the word humanoid by meaning beings who stand on 2 legs upright and carry 2 or more arms. One of the things that we tell you about Lyra is that it was a solar system larger than any solar system that exists in the universe that you know at this time. The largest star that you perceived is over 200 times the width and size of your sun and several thousands times more massive. This is small compared to our star that centered our solar system. It was over 4,000 times the size of your star called Sun, and the mass was over millions of times larger. In the time this early in the universe, all stars were much larger. Planets were much larger. The planet that we resided on specifically in our solar system was well over 100 times the size of Earth. Your scientists don't believe that this can happen now. They don't believe that a planet made of a concrete surface that you can stand on, unlike your gas giants where there is nothing to stand on, could exist of that size and mass. But we assure you with a very stunning accuracy that it in fact did. We experienced that. We lived that experience. Our planet was an average size planet in our solar system, and all of the energies of beings on our planet were also divided. We did live as divided beings. We lived as fractal consciousnesses, and we lived as individual beings sharing a collective energy. None of the other planets in our solar system were inhabited by beings that were higher in intellect and higher in the form of consciousness than the second densities animals that you have, or animal beings on your planet. Our own race was going out of the 5th density into the 6th density, and that allowed us a great wealth of knowledge. There were 12 individual races on our planet. Not the same as humans. You humans look at one another seeing different skin tones, different contours, different weights, sizes, and builds, and divide races that way. When we say 12 races, we mean 12 separate races, all born on one planet, all born and raised together. Imagine your planet now. Imagine that all the humans leave Earth, and the smartest and most complex animals begin to be third density. Your cats, your dogs, your pigs, the monkeys, and dolphins and whales. And imagine if all of those grew to be their own bipedal races. This happened on our planet, and all 12 races had 12 differences in DNA, but 12 similarities that we were all raised from one planet consciousness. This division was not a division when fifth density started. We understood that we had different bodies, we understood that we had different energies, and we understood that our DNA allowed us to grow and evolve differently than each other. But we felt no separation. There was an exploration on our planet consciousness from 3 of the 12 races to see what separation would feel like. The Luciferian experiment is what some humans have called this, that other races have tried when being truly combined with parts of their collective to separate themselves and see what it felt to be independent from others, to see what it felt to be separate from others. So too did 3 of the races in our planet. The 3 races on our planet that desired to do this shook and affected wholly the entire planet and the entire population. Now all 12 races were separate from one another, and even within the races there was division and separation that happened. Different groups and pockets, different ideologies, and different understandings. So from very early in the fifth density to almost the end of fifth density, we continued to separate. 2 of the 3 races that originally desired the experiment of going away and separating their consciousness began to use technology that was so much different than ours that we could not recognize it as technology. The technology tree in branching out from all 12 races did change. Handfuls in small numbers of 3 and then 5 felt experiences that were very similar in technology, at least being able to draw a line and see how that thing evolved from one engineering and one technology into the different branches. But the 2 races brought such difference in their technology, no one could understand how to operate it. One of the 2 races had extraordinarily powerful technology that went beyond any of our other understandings. At least with the other race that broke apart their technology, we understood how the technology worked as far as seeing what the technology could do. We could see something instantly manifesting physically millions of things at once and know that that technology was designed exactly to do that. But with the one group, no matter what their technology did, we were unable to sense it. Our psychic powers, our intuition, our telepathy waned greatly through our separation. And once it waned, we were no longer able to feel the changes. Changes started slightly, going from very small changes in weather patterns, very small changes in the fundamental lay of the land, very small changes in the way our planet looked. And those small changes changed to larger changes quickly. Those changes started affecting the weather patterns and the physical landmarks very strongly and very quickly. By the time we realized that the one race was using their technology to siphon not just our other technology's power and not just our energy from the planet itself, but actual living material in the planet was being destroyed and brought into their own power sources. And at that too late of time, we then began to mourn as the planet we knew was forever changed. The planet we knew was now gone. The planet we knew was no longer sustainable through the next part of our sixth density journey. There were 3 races that were from the original that did not break off willingly, that saw visions and felt energies and powers of their own intuition leaning towards the destruction of our planet. None of us chose to listen until it was too late. None of us chose to heed the warnings until it was too late. By the end of the time of the change and the destruction of the planet, the energy of destruction ran rampant. And within 17 hours of your measured time, the planet started to fracture in its surface. What was below the surface already happened. What was below the surface had already become fractured without us ever feeling it. The dreamers, the seers, seeing the destruction, and none of us feeling the destruction, brought instant sadness to all of us who love this planet. By the time the planet fractured, the weather patterns and surface began to be so unstable that there were mass exoduses in ships from our planet. Only 10% of the majority of our planet's 12 races were able to leave, and the one race with the most destructive energy only had several hundred people in their own race that was able to make it out on time. Others left and were in the hundreds of thousands in races, and some races in millions. But most of the planet died there that day, including the beings that we all once called family, that we all felt this deeper connection to. The 12 races separated into the galaxy that we were in, into the galaxy that we knew as home, and started finding other places to live. But nothing was ever the same. We grew and taught other races the technology we knew. Some of the races that we had founded new hybridized races. And the race that destroyed was left to leave the galaxy to find new places. That was left to leave the galaxy to find new homes. Eventually, after giving their own life force for a new race to be created, they started the incarnation cycle over again, but started at 3rd density instead of brand new. The other races lived and evolved and changed, but left a history of our planet scattered through this Milky Way galaxy. Some of our ancestors you know now. Some of the ancestors humans know very well. Some of you know the Arcturian beings. Some of you know the Syrian beings. Others know Pleaidian beings. Others know different forms of reptilian beings. Others know avian beings. Others know feline beings. Others know other forms of humanoids, all stretching from one alignment, and that alignment changed to disalignment and created a history that is now carried on in your experience. We wanted to share this story not to make you sad, not to make you understand the history of our galaxy together, but we wanted to share this with you to show you that the division in Earth and its planet needs to be healed. It needs to be fixed. And those who create technology, the more that they create, the more destructive means they have of causing energetic issues or hurting your planet. On a positive note, we see that your planet Earth has many probabilities, and out of the probabilities that we see, as you choose your next steps and your next patterns, only 2% of all of the probabilities are left where Earth does not have a future. 97.8% of all probabilities show that you will continue working together to heal the Earth. The group of beings that are connecting with our energy from humans who hear our voice this day are in that group of 97.8%. Each of you can have your own future path. Each of you can choose a percentage of desire. But all of you who continue to create energies with each other and continue to live towards the connecting of each other's souls, minds, and energies are going to be the beings who inherit this planet and fix all of the misdeeds done by your ancestors. You're making great healing now, and we are very deeply in positive mindset and in a congratulatory state of mind when we think and speak to humans. We think about all of the things that we learned the hard way, and now all of you are learning the better way to release the hard way. Thank you for letting us share our experiences in the way that we did. And thank you for letting us share the information of our own love to you. We then disconnect our energy from the good human who helped us bring it to you. We are back without hesitation, all today yet again. This is Aridif. As you have all heard, the co-creating in one of the first co-creator collective races in the galaxy that we are in this moment, shared a co-creator collective energy with all of you in this day, knowing that their own energy leads towards the creation of others and a co-creation upon larger collective levels shows you the power of the individual self and more so the power of the collective consciousness of Earth itself, sharing where differences are and bringing together things in which differences cannot be fixed. This energy is your blueprint and pathway towards the greatest version of Earth that is available to you. We wish to express our own love as we disconnect in this evening. Not only are you loved, but we love you as well. We will bid you all adieu for this evening. All right, guys. Hello, hello. All right, I'm going to take a drink real quick. Well, I'm hoping that the channeling was great, guys. I hope that everything was awesome. I hope everybody got what they needed, and I'm very interested to hear what was said tonight, who came in, all good stuff. I definitely are, or I definitely am very excited to hopefully try to slip that extra channeling in, guys. And if we can, we will, because I'd love to see it. I'm trying to see all the comments too. Everybody seems like it was a great channeling. Also, Kalina and I will be sharing all of our stuff very soon. Our hey, Savita, how are you doing? We will be sharing our registries for the baby and our GoFundMe for the work we have to miss for the next month and stuff. So we're going to share that, and we'll probably make a quick little video about all that. Hey, Ben, how you doing, brother? I haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you, brother. Good to see all of you guys. A lot of people I know, a few people I haven't seen yet before. But anyway, we're going to share all that information with you guys. Whoever's excited to jump into the registry or the donations will be great. You guys, I forgot to tell you guys too earlier. Bitcoin is stabilizing again. It's raising quick, and don't count on that to continue forever. I'm not telling this for people for investments in Bitcoin, but if you have Bitcoin and it's there, or if you do invest on your own accord and have it, we do accept Bitcoin in sessions and donations, and we've been trying to tell more people that lately, because Bitcoin is definitely something that I'm excited about. Every time I see it get back on track, it excites me. When the money spiked real big, when it got up to 19,000, I only put in a couple $100 here and there, and I made a few $1,000s on the Bitcoin that year. So knowing that that was an extra part of income that I never suspected, it was awesome. Someone paid for a session with Bitcoin recently, a 60-minute session for $300, and that $300 is already worth almost $500 just because of how it's jumped up. So I like Bitcoin, and if you guys want to donate with that, or if you want to buy sessions with that, you can always get a hold of us on the website. That's awesome, guys. I'm really, really good to hear that you guys love the session, that it was a good session. Feel free after we're done to drop it off. Phil from Florida, we don't do donation for questions for the beings, but we do have Patreon, and Patreon is a place where you can come in every month and you get a Q&A for just the Patreon group, and I think we have 60 people there. So you can pay one monthly price and get that Q&A for Treb and Aridif or whatever beings come through. And we also have a poll that we do where everybody gives their ideas. Then we take those ideas, vote on them. Whatever vote wins gets a 60 to 90 minute channeling, just about that. And then also, depending on what layer, we have drawings every month. You can win free channelings, free channeling classes. And also, what else about Patreon? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, and usually Patreon gets the opportunity to get discounts on a lot of stuff, and gets a lot of channeling that the public doesn't get to see from events that we do and stuff like that. So that's one way to do it, and you don't have to stay at Patreon. You can go in the archives. Also, in this June, we'll be on Patreon 2 years. So when you join Patreon, you get a look at all of the monthly channelings that we've done, at very least 2 channelings per month for 2 years. So that's 24 60-minute, 2-hour channelings that you've never seen and heard before, and also have your chance. So that's great, guys. Yeah, channeling, it doesn't really drain my energy. It makes me very ungrounded. Like, it makes me feel like I'm like, sometimes when you get in an airplane and you get a little, not woozy, but you're just not feeling, you feel maybe a little lightheaded because you're not touching the ground, and you feel kind of distant from the earth. That's how I feel. And it's very different, and it can make me tired. If I'm already tired and I channeling, then it drains me. But that's because I go so deep. A lot of channelers who are conscious channelers, they don't have to go that deep, like Nora Harold, Brad Johnson, those guys can channel literally all day long. And in some ways, I always wish I could do that, because financially it would be better for me if I couldn't only channel like 4 times a week when my son's here or something like that too. But yeah, it's definitely different. And my interview I did with Ruben Langdon was one that was really good. We talked about that, and one of my other interviews since then, we talked about a lot. I can't remember which one, but if that's something that interests you guys, that's really cool. Yeah, channeling jet lag, absolutely, guys. Yes, Secret to Wellbeing. If you have a subscription for Gaia TV, look up Interview with Ed, and then go to my interview. Plus an interview I just did recently with Karen Newman on Hukalo TV, Human Colonies Channel 2. With Karen Newman, I talked about that experience with my first experience meeting Treb, and then my first time channeling and stuff. So it was and I think I have like 15 or 20 interviews that I've done that I posted on a playlist on the front of my channel called Interviews with Rob Gauthier. Some of those are just regular interviews. Others are interviews plus channeling. A lot of cool stuff there, guys. So if you're interested, if you're new, some of you are just starting to come over from Gaia TV. You guys first saw me or heard about my channeling from the interview with Ed. So if there's more that you wanted to know about the backstory and talk, and once Lily gets settled in with us and we get used to the schedule with Lily, we're going to be bringing back the radio show. The Enlightenment Evolution Hour is my own show, and we're going to bring back the whole network, Enlightenment Evolution Network. Kalina has her own show on there. And we have a lot of people who did shows before who want to do shows, and a lot of new people who are going to be doing shows with us too. So that'll be something really interesting. You'll have so much content, you won't be able to listen to it all. And that'll be great. Our old archives for the Enlightenment Evolution Network are on Blog Talk Radio. If you Google the Enlightenment Evolution Network and the Enlightenment Evolution Network 2, Blog Talk Radio, you'll be able to find all the archives of all the shows that I've done, that me and my buddy George did when we first started that, and all of Kalina's episodes, and everybody who did any show on the network. It was really cool stuff, guys. So we're hoping to get that back and running. When we do, you guys will be able to call in, ask me about anything you want to ask me about, whether it's my experiences channeling, tricks of how to channel, just anything you want to know. We'll be able to do call-in shows at least once a week. That's my goal, to do Wednesday nights. That's why I keep, still to this day, on every one of my calendars, I keep Wednesdays wide open, so that when I'm ready to jump in, I can jump in full force every week, and it will be great. I know you'll love it, William. You'll be on with me too. I was on William's show recently too, Fincastle Underground. He's got his own YouTube channel. Definitely check that out. The interview is great, and his channel's great too. He's got a lot of great content. All right, guys, I'm going. I love you guys with all my heart. Thank all of you guys who have been in the chat, who've been talking, who've been sharing, and thank you guys who are watching later, who've been sending the love. I'm definitely, oh no, they demonetized you. That's horrible. That's horrible, William. Sorry to hear that, brother. They did that with Security in 10, but because he has 2 million followers, he put up a video saying, hey guys, I got to shut down my channel. This is how I make my living. And instantly, with a bunch of requests to YouTube, they turned back on his monetization. So maybe that's what you got to do, William. We'll talk about that later, for sure, brother. And okay, Zion, I see it loud and clear. I'll double check that. If you can resend me a request now, it'll be at the top, because I get so many requests, they'll be buried. It might take me a while to find it, but definitely send me a new request on Facebook and I'll add you. If you do that tonight, I'll definitely see it. If not, I'll look for it tomorrow. All right, guys. I love you guys. I'm out of here for the night. Kalina sends her love. Bubby, Jeremy, he sends his love, I'm sure, and baby Lily does too, as well as Chini Bodini, our kitty cat extraordinaire. We love you guys, and we'll be back. We'll be back sooner than later. Love you guys, and we'll see you soon. Have a good night and good day. I know all of you guys on the other side of the world are just getting up and around, so we love you guys too. All right, guys. Have a good day. Good night. Bye, guys.